Discipline without yelling, without punishment, without the standoff. If you grew up the way most of us did, that can sound impossible. But Japanese parents do it every single day. And the secret isn't stricter rules. It's almost the opposite. Today, Yumi will walk you through 3 gentle Japanese methods that stop the drama before it starts. The same quiet approach that helps raise some of the calmest, most cooperative kids in the world. They work for toddlers, but the mindset starts far earlier. So whether your little one is mid-tantrum right now or still on the way, these are for you. And stay with me, because the third method feels completely backwards until you see why it works. Here's the first thing that changes everything. In English, the word discipline comes from a root meaning to instruct, but somewhere along the way, it started to feel like punishment, consequences, control. In Japanese, the word is shitsuke, and it's written with characters that loosely mean to attach beauty to the body. Let that land for a second. Not to punish the child, to gently shape good habits into them, the way you'd train a young plant to grow straight, patiently, without force, until standing tall is just who they are. That single shift is the ground all 3 of these methods grow from. You're not trying to win against your child. You're trying to raise a child who, over time, quietly wants to do the right thing on their own. So, let's begin. Method 1, get low and connect before you correct. The first method is the simplest, and it's the one most of us skip. When a child is melting down or pushing a limit, the Western instinct is to stand tall, point, and lay down the rule from above. But to a small child, a big person towering over them and using a sharp voice doesn't read as guidance. It reads as threat. And a threatened brain can't learn anything. It can only defend itself. That's why lecturing a screaming toddler never lands. Japanese parents tend to do the opposite. They kneel. They come down to eye level, soften the voice, and connect before they say a single word about the behavior. There's a beautiful idea underneath this called amae. Amae, described by the Japanese psychiatrist Takeo Doi, is the deep, secure sense that you can lean on someone's love and they won't pull it away. When you get low and connect first, you're refilling that sense of safety. And here's the part that matters. A child who feels safe can suddenly hear you. A child who feels attacked cannot. So the shift is this. Before you correct the behavior, connect with the child. Kneel down. Soften. One warm hand on the shoulder. Then speak. You'll be amazed how much shorter the storm gets when you stop fighting it from above. Method 2. Point to the ripple. The second method is where Japanese parenting really parts ways with what most of us were taught. Instead of focusing on punishment, they point to the ripple, the effect the behavior has on others and on the world. When a Western parent sees a child snatch a toy or bang on the table, the instinct is often the rule and the consequence. Stop that or else. The focus is on the child and the punishment. But studies comparing Japanese and Western parents have noticed something striking. Japanese parents lean far more on gently explaining feelings and effects. Not stop hitting or you'll get a timeout, but look, hitting makes your friend's heart hurt. Not don't slam the door, but the door goes bang. That scares the baby. They point again and again to the feelings rippling out from what the child just did. Why does this work so well? Because it grows the one thing punishment can't: empathy. A punished child learns, don't get caught. A child shown the ripple learns, my actions touch other people. And that inner awareness is what eventually runs the show when you're not even in the room. You're not installing a fear of consequences. You're installing a conscience. So, the shift. Stop pointing at the punishment and start pointing at the ripple. Name the feeling your child's action caused. That's what turns behaving because I have to into caring because I understand. And now, the third method. The one I promised feels completely backwards. Ready? Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step back and do less. I know. Everything in you wants to jump in, to fix it, solve it, stop the struggle the instant it starts. But watch a Japanese preschool sometime, and you'll see teachers deliberately hold back while two children work out a squabble themselves. They're practicing something called mimamoru. Mimamoru means to watch over while protecting. It's the art of staying close and attentive, ready to step in if things truly go wrong, but resisting the urge to rescue at every small bump. Because every time we swoop in and solve it for them, we send a quiet message. You can't handle this yourself. When you step back instead and let a child sit in a manageable struggle for even 10 seconds, something grows that no lecture can teach. The ability to calm themselves, to problem solve, to recover. That's the root of real self-discipline. Not obedience under your eye. Self-control when you're not there. It feels backwards because it looks like doing nothing. But mimamoru isn't absence. It's presence without interference. It's the hardest one to practice, and it's the one that builds the most capable kid. So notice what all three of these have in common. Getting low, pointing to the ripple, stepping back. Not one of them is about controlling the child. Every single one builds connection and inner understanding instead of fear. And that's the quiet secret behind shitsuke. You're not managing behavior in the moment. You're slowly growing a person who carries the good habits inside them. Discipline stops being something you do to your child and becomes something you grow in them. And if you don't have a toddler yet, if you're a new parent or you're waiting for your little one to arrive, this is the best possible time to hear it. Because none of this starts with the tantrum. It starts long before, in the thousands of tiny moments where your baby learns that when they need you, you come. That's the very first brick of amae, the safety that later lets a child accept your guidance without a fight. So you're not behind. You're early, and you're already building the calm long before the first no. So the next time your child pushes a limit, try just one of these. Get low before you speak. Point to the ripple, not the punishment. Or take a breath and step back for 10 seconds. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to trade the standoff for connection, one small moment at a time. If you want to keep tending your own quiet garden of calm, confident parenting, subscribe. Every week, Yumi shares one more gentle Japanese method for raising secure, peaceful kids. This is a slow, beautiful kind of growing, and it's so much better with company. And tell me in the comments, which of the three will you try first? Getting low, pointing to the ripple, or stepping back? Just the number, 1, 2, or 3. I read every single one. Take a breath. You're doing better than you think.